voice suppression. I can't whistle. I think I don't even know if I want a podcast anymore, like ever again.
Man, it's it's your setup, man. I'll follow you down that hole.
Yeah, no, we're gonna make whistling great again, just not now. And we'll get back to you on that. But that's amazing. I guess that's some quality noise reduction. But welcome to a double game edition of the Free Ballers Cup series of Free Ballers podcast. I'm Alex here with John as always.
Double.
2 fucking games have happened. We were too lazy to do one after the last game.
That's what it really is.
Yeah, so a couple notes I just want to say, like before we get into the juicy affair that took place this evening. I just want to talk about the last game really quick. The quote unquote Tyler Hero game. I just want to say a few things that maybe will go overlooked if not said.
You better get it out now because I'm going to pull up his stat line from tonight.
So this man came out and dropped 37 off the bench, shattering a Heat playoff record for points by a rookie, and it also like shattered points by a rookie Heat record. It was the most points by a rookie in conference finals history, in the history of the NBA playoffs. No rookie has scored more in the conference finals. He's the youngest player in NBA history to drop 30 points off the bench in a playoff game, which is nuts. And a couple of oddball ones. He had the top selling jersey after the game all of a sudden, which is kind of funny. And I think he's got the swag that he's the type of dude that's just gonna happen.
That was bought by a bunch of like MAGA supporters and like Miami PD. It's all that was. That's all that was buying that.
A bunch of dudes who had like LeBron jerseys, like the LeBron 6 jersey,
and of course burned them after he went back to Cleveland.
Yeah, they burned them, and it was like their only Heat jersey, and like they just found out about the Heat like being in the playoffs because of this game.
Yeah, because they don't really give a fuck because everybody down there is a Dolphins fan anyways. So
no, I disagree. I can't get down with that. But
all football fans.
Here's one last one that I thought was really weird because there's a lot of really good ones, but I think they've all been said. So who gives a shit? But this one here I thought was kind of weird as well. So in his first 12 playoff games, he's scored in double figures. He's only the 4th rookie in history to do that. And the list is Elgin Baylor, who did it in 1959, Jerry West in 1961, and some dude named Alvin Adams in 1976. So that's it's been a while since like somebody's been this effective, like this young, this soon on their team, like in these types of games.
Yeah, I mean, it's an awesome stat when you're using the phrase "some dude" in your comparison.
yeah. Like just 1959, 1961, and 1976 were the only times that anyone's ever done that. So this man is he deserves all the attention that he's getting, and it made me remember a preseason game this season where the game started out 14-0 and Tyler Hero had 14 and no one else had anything at all.
Right. Yeah.
Gotcha. And I never seen that in my life. And I know it was a preseason game and it was like whatever, like it wasn't like regular season competition, but I was still like, holy shit, like what the fuck? And I haven't seen him play like that until that game just the other day, and he had the 37 points, and that was amazing. And so that's all I really want to say about that game. That brings us now.
He is well. I'll jump in. I mean, credit where credit's due. He's showing us some stuff. I mean, people that honestly, if you watch his mixtape from like high school, you kind of should have seen this coming. To be very honest, he's got some great abilities there. So I mean, honestly, if you were to do the 2019 draft over and did it now after all these after everybody's had one season of playing and you've seen them do it, he's top 5. He's a top 5 draft pick.
I agree. If you did it over again. So bright future for the kid, and like it made me so happy to see him do his thing. So enough about my thoughts on game 4, but what are your thoughts on the Celtics victory in game 5?
Well, first of all, the Celtics are the balls.
yeah, I gotta get that out of the way.
I have to get that out of the way. There's a lot to absorb in this game 5 here. Brad Stevens said it's the first time he's seen like real Celtics basketball the whole playoffs, or at least in this series, I want to say, which is interesting because every game has been close except for the game that they won, game 3.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that he would put that way. Tatum did what he does. He's not a commanding presence, but he kind of took over in the third quarter. A third quarter that was very un-Celtic like. And I the third quarter was the key for them, essentially. The 20-2 run was absolutely amazing. They
had 41 points in the third quarter,
which is insane. It has to be their best third quarter of the playoffs so far.
Yeah. They played like a team whose life was on the line.
Backed into a corner. Yeah. It's a shame it has to get to that point because, now anything can happen in the next game and the Heat could win it. Or if the Celtics win it, then anything can happen in the game after that. So you backed yourself into a corner. It partially your fault, but also partially, I hate to take credit away from the Heat. They are playing well, but these the stats, like the Celtics aren't doing a lot wrong except for turnovers. They're shooting the ball well. They're allowing these comebacks, which is bad, but it's mostly turnovers. The turnover game tonight. Actually, I'm pulling up the box score here. I was trying to find Tyler Hero's plus minus in this game, but it's 12-11. So Celtics only had 11 turnovers. Yeah, close. But as long as they're winning that, and they don't have as many turnovers as the Heat, then they're fine. That's all that matters. Points in the paint, huge, by the way. Celtics had, I think, 60 in game 3, which I believe sets a playoff record for the NBA. I could be wrong about that. 56 this game, big time. And I think a lot of that is fast break stuff.
Yeah.
And actually, I have some thoughts saved that I had to just get out before we started this podcast. Big time Celtics beat writer, John Corrales. He mentioned that Miami's zone has been figured out. Basically, Boston's got it down. They're carving it up now. Basically, they did it better in this game than they did in game 3, but they've got it figured out. So when they do that, the Heat are having to go man now. They're playing man, and man is where the Celtics can really beat you because honestly, they have a lot of great one-on-one players, and the Heat can hold their own for only so long, and then it's just it's tough. Tyler Hero, for as good as he is, was having a tough time with Jaylen Brown one-on-ones tonight. So. But the reason the zone was beating them up in the first place is because of Boston was just being too passive against it. I think being aggressive against the zone is what's getting them success. So that's that. Yeah. So
in that first half, they weren't, like in that first half, they weren't being aggressive. And like in the third quarter, they really changed that.
There was a major talk at halftime too. Actually, the guy said like a soul searching thing, which I thought they would have done before game 3, game 5. But yeah,
yeah.
Like why when you want to just come out super aggressive in first half?
So the turnover battle was like pretty even this time around, and but the Celtics out rebounded the Heat 28-12 in the second half.
Major.
So that's super key. And I feel like I don't even know, like on paper, if this is true, but I don't even care because I feel it in my gut that like in the previous game, in the Tyler Hero game,
Mhm.
Brad Stevens did something that kind of confused me, and and I don't know if it was because he felt the pressure, so he had to like shorten his rotation or something, but like he didn't play Grant Williams or Enes Kanter. And I
Tonight,
was
you mean?
no, in the previous game,
Last
like
game.
in the
Okay.
Tyler
Yeah.
Hero game, he played them 0 minutes, both of them.
Yeah.
And it was
Mhm.
like, what? It really was weird to me because Kanter's been great in all of his minutes, I felt.
Mhm.
But then also Grant Williams in the game before, which was the only other Celtics victory, Grant Williams was really good against the zone.
Very effective. Yeah.
And I just think he's a good player. I think he's better than Kanter. And I also think that
Ooh.
he fits into what the Celtics are trying to do. I think he could eventually be even more effective than Tice. I just think all that's going against him is his youth and inexperience, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
When he plays the way that he can, he helps a lot. And so I feel like tonight in game 5 here, Brad Stevens kind of realized, like, you know, I mean, I'm sure losing helped him to see this, but I mean, he lost and he didn't play Kanter and Grant Williams. So tonight he played Kanter and
Put
Grant
them in.
Williams,
Yeah.
and he
Mhm.
fucking won, you know. And then the other observation I have is the shot distribution for both teams. Like, so if you look at the shots on the Heat, if you think of who are like the most potent, or I guess like our all-star players, like there are the Heat's most reliable players and most important players, it's like Jimmy and Bam and either Tyler or Goran, you know.
Mhm.
Goran gets his points up no matter what, so I don't really worry about him too much. But Jimmy and Bam had 11 shots apiece, and that wasn't even like in the top 4 of like shot attempts on the team. So, and like Tyler, I think, took 12 shots. So like
Okay.
the shot distribution was really, really balanced, which is typically good for the Heat. But in a game where we're trying to make it to the NBA Finals,
You got to close out.
you
Yeah.
got to be a little more aggressive, right?
Yeah.
So let's look at the other side. The Celtics, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum both took like over 20 shots apiece, and they both were effective in those shots and did the damn thing, and they deserved the win, you know. Like, but the two Jays basically brought it on home. You know, if you look at who took the shots, they took it upon themselves to fucking do it. And I think Tatum finished with like 30 something, and Brown had like 28.
Yep.
That's when they're going to play like that. I mean, they're tough to beat.
Yeah.
And the Heat were being a little too passive. Like, I love that they share the ball, and that's pretty clutch. That's like that's part the heart of exactly. That's part of their success. But in a game like tonight, the Celtics played like a team that their season was on the line, and the Heat played like it was fucking like a game in October or some shit, like it normally, like a preseason or something. Like, I don't even know. I think those shots need to be adjusted. I think Jimmy and Bam and Tyler need to take more shots, you know.
I mean, there has to be one or two. I mean, you kind of said it just now, but I mentioned this earlier during the series. The Heat, if they're going to close this out, they need like one guy who steps up and it's like, I'm taking this over. It's my game now. Because, you know, the Celtics, they were down early, but they're just going to stick around, right? None of these games have been blowouts, really, except for game 3, really. But even that wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that wasn't even a blowout. It started.
No, this is the most blowout game yet.
Yeah, exactly. So if the Celtics are able to pour on points, the Heat need one guy, and I'm winking at Jimmy Butler to be the person who says, okay, exactly. I got to put my scoring. I got to get into scoring mode, plain and simple. He can do it. Dude, Kemba on him. And he's scoring on Smart easily. He's a great offensive player. He's sometimes unstoppable. You got to he's got to take the ball and forget about facilitating, forgetting about getting it to other guys, drive the ball in there, get some easy shots. That opens up the floor for everybody else. You got 2 great 3-point shooters out there. So, I mean, that's it, really.
Another great example of that is like him and Bam. So Jimmy had 17 points, 8 assists, and 8 rebounds. Bam had 13 points, 7 assists, and 8 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Both stat lines are fire,
yes.
but it's like those are two beautiful, like unselfish players if you by the numbers when you look at that. But both of those guys need to take more shots.
Go at it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think if Jimmy's not going to do it, then you're right. It's Bam, and Bam should do it. And if I'm Bam and Cantor's on me, I'm going at him every time. I'm being selfish as hell.
Yeah, because when it comes down to it, those two guys are the heart and soul of the team, and like Goran and Tyler scoring points, that's kind of their role. Like they do it, but there should be like in support, I feel. And tonight it was more of like a equal opportunity, and like in the first half it felt great, but in the second half, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum just went to work, and they just went ham, and the Heat didn't play like that, and it's like that's the difference. That and the rebounding, those are like the biggest things I notice.
I always put myself in the shoes of a coach, and typically I'm doing it in like in my imagination. What would I say if I'm Brad Stevens, right? I'm pulling both of the Jays aside when we're down and saying, go out there and just make it happen. You guys can. You're 22 and 23. You're just as talented, if not more than talented, than any other player on the Heat. You're quicker. You can get your shots. Go get them. Have at it. Don't worry about facilitating. Don't worry about the other three guys. If they're open, they're open. Give it to them. But you guys are the scorers. And when you guys score 25 or more, we are golden. We are unstoppable. Jalen's the better defender. Play your heart out on defense, but when we're on offense, go right at everybody. Go right at whoever's on you. Just go at them. Just if you get an offensive foul, we'll live with one or two.
Yeah, just right? Frolic. Just frolic.
Just frolic. Just go at them. That's all you got to do. That's what I pulled them aside. Those are your
frolic
two most
through the
players.
meadow. That is the defense.
I mean, there's like a tier on the Celtics. Like the Jays are at the top, and then the next is like Kemba and Gordon, right? And then it's everybody else after that. So if the two Jays aren't picking it up, then Kemba has to do it. But Kemba has struggled in the playoffs, and I give him a little bit of a pass. It's the first time he's ever been this deep into a playoff before, so he doesn't know how it goes. So, but I mean, the Heat to me, I mean, it sounds like, I mean, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I might be jumping to conclusions. It's like a little bit of an identity crisis when they lose a game like this. Like, who's going to take over the game? I mean, you can keep playing the team ball, and it may get you the win. It kind of, I mean, I think they need to understand that games 1 and 2, they kind of squeaked out. Am I right? They kind of got, especially game 1, if I remember correctly, the one where Jimmy hit the 3 at the end. That game could have gone either way. This could be
there's an overtime win, I believe.
Exactly. This could be 3-2 Celtics right now. So they need to get a little bit of their shit together if they really want to close this out. So, because I feel like the Celtics are going to come out pretty damn strong in game 6 too. They're feeling riding high right now.
Yeah. I've been wondering if the Heat are dealing with some injuries and shit, you know what I mean? That they just are playing through.
Beyond Bam's?
Like
beyond his hand?
Yeah, like I feel like because Jimmy just has seemed so passive, you know what I mean? But I don't know if it's because he's just buying time because like they were up 3-1 but like I don't know. He seems to come through when he needs to, so I don't want to speak too soon. I don't want to speak too soon, but I don't know. They didn't fucking have the guts tonight. The Celtics definitely deserve the win. And with the two J's and shit, I feel like that's how the Heat are with Bam and Jimmy. And tonight, Bam and Jimmy didn't do that, and the type of game the Heat played tonight, we could have beat like most teams in this regular season. You know what I mean? But to beat the Celtics with the season on the line, they didn't play that type of game, just straight up. Like it didn't feel that way. So I don't know. We're in the same position we were in the last episode, except we've exchanged games here, so we're just only one game closer to the end of the series. But the Heat still have a 1-game lead, and now we'll see if the Celtics can force the game 7 or if the
Sundays. I'm already looking forward to Sunday.
Yeah, we'll get their shit together. I personally think that some of our guys are tired and some of our guys are a little banged up. And I think that they didn't really want to do it tonight. But if we're gonna move forward here, I think Tyler we're gonna have to like actually ask him to do what he did. You know what I mean?
That's big ask, man, for a
like
20,
instead of
20-year-old kid.
like not score 37, but be like, okay, like we are gonna go to you, you know, like in the fourth quarter, like, which is something they have done. So I don't really know why. I don't know. It just felt like they tried to do it as a team, which is great, but they was too passive. Like they gotta individually be more aggressive the way that the Jays were, you know, like Kemba didn't have a particularly great game. Like I think Tice had his best game of the series.
Amazing game. Yeah. 15 and 13.
And like I said before, I just think he does little things, you know, that you need. I mean, the man had 3 blocks, you know, 4 fouls that in his case, in this time, in this game tonight, I actually feel like that was good, you know, like, you want to use those fouls, you know, like,
he got that flagrant on an Iggy. So that's big, which was a little bit of BS, but yeah, I get it.
So despite the 2 J's being like the focal point, I feel, of the game for the Celtics and having the most points, Tice and Kemba Walker had the 2 highest plus minuses in the whole fucking game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting.
And, so I think when Tatum and Brown are aggressive like that takes the pressure off of Kemba to have to score, and it allows him and everyone else to fall in place. One thing I actually forgot to mention that I thought was super important is Gordon Hayward played 30 minutes and he checked into the game way earlier than normal.
Mm-hmm.
And just his ball handling and facilitating and playmaking and just like being a guy who's not going to do something stupid out there was like valuable.
Yeah, he's shown. I mean, man, he does it so quietly, but yeah, he's such a good. I mean, I think Stevens and the other players know that having him out there is majorly important, especially when he's coming off the bench and they don't have a particularly deep bench. And so you have to put him out there with sometimes Grant Williams, who's a rookie. You're putting him out there with Enes Kanter, who is just has his moments. I'll just say that. Like a lot of Celtics Twitter is just like, oh, great. Enes Kanter's checking in. I don't mind it really. I was excited when they signed him because I'm still okay with Enes Kanter, but I also give him a pass because I know he's dealing with like some crazy political shit with his home country all the time. So like, and in the playoffs. So, you know, it's huge, but Hayward is being asked to, I mean, he's 32 million to come off the bench and like facilitate these
over $1 million per minute in this game.
It's crazy. I know. And like, so, but I mean, if they're winning the game because he's in there, it definitely matters. Yeah. So it's kind of crazy. But.
And with Kanter too, I'll say like the rap sheet on him's always been like, I don't think there's ever been a doubt that this man can score points. Like he can fucking score points, and he'll get the type of rebounds that you get when you're as tall as him. You know what I mean? Like, but then on the other side, he's a liability, and that's why we've seen his minutes dwindle away, like as his career has gone on. But in a series like this, though, with the Celtics, when you look at the bench, honestly, like I think it's amazing what they do, and I think it's very important that Gordon Hayward plays, because if you look at everyone else, there's not a whole lot there. Like there's Heat fans who are upset that Semi Ojeleye had 0 minutes tonight. because when he comes into the game, it's like joyous for the Heat. So I think Brad Stevens is onto something by not playing him. Like if you could afford to not do that,
Semi's a guy you use him sparingly, and just in certain situations he's not successful against the Heat. And so we're not going to put him in. And another thing, same cases with Rob Williams. I think he's decided Rob Williams can't hang out there for some reason. So
another thing, I hate to say it because I feel like if roles were reversed and I was a Celtics fan, I feel like Wanamaker would be my guy on just pure heart and soul type shit. But like, I think that's another reason why they did well is Wanamaker played 5 minutes tonight. That's a good amount. That's a good amount of Wanamaker.
That's it. That's all I
you know
want.
What I mean?
Yeah.
That's all. Like that's an amount that he can be effective.
That's
you know,
it.
like if you put him out there for too long now, I'm not sure really. Because in the modern NBA, man, like you can't afford to have a player out there at any time who's not at least somewhat of a threat on offense. And
He can make threes every now and then, but for the most part, he's the oldest. He's also the oldest player on the team, so you can't give him extended minutes anyways. He's in his 30s, so
true.
Yeah, so he's not going to get extended minutes anyways.
Just looking at the box score and shit, I'm just talking shit, but I think it's good that he only played 5 minutes.
I agree. I am with you.
That's the right amount of Wanamaker, and I guess the only reason that was happening is because Hayward was out anyways.
Yeah, but, Hayward is a point forward, so yeah, and he had a typical Hayward game off the bench, 10, 3, and 2 in 30 minutes. Yeah.
So we will see what happens going forward here.
Sunday.
I'm hoping that the Heat can close this out before the Celtics get how they were, like when Hayward was before he got hurt. Because like that would take us to a game 7 and shit that I don't really know what would happen. And in the bubble, we've already seen multiple 3-1 leads be erased. So you never, no lead is safe. And I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but we kind of have to. It's just weird that we're Heat and Celtics fans. But looking at the finals and shit, we got LA. I'm going to give my most trash take probably of all time. And I'm going to say that if the Lakers make the finals, they're not going to win.
So no matter which team from the East comes out, they're going to beat the Lakers.
If AD and LeBron don't play like absolute fucking superhumans, they don't win. The reason why they're winning is because those guys can do that. But man, the Nuggets don't even have that good of a defense. I don't feel like I think the Celtics and the Heat play way harder defense.
Sure, absolutely.
Than what the Lakers are currently going up against. Just straight up.
It's interesting.
I think the level of competition in the East is a lot more than people realize.
I've always thought that.
And I think that we might be about to witness like what happened when the Pistons won in 2004, where people just didn't realize like, oh, okay.
I saw some takes on Reddit where people were starting to compare this Heat team to that 2004 Pistons team.
Yeah, I see that, and that's cool, and because I love that team. But I feel that way about just the Eastern Conference in general. Like, I feel like even if the Celtics go, it will be a similar situation where the Lakers will be favored. Like, but it's only because of their superstar shit. Yeah. But when it comes down to X's and O's in basketball, I don't see it. I don't see it the way I see these Eastern teams. Like I think what's happening between the Heat and the Celtics is more intense and more competitive.
I'll agree with that. I think the real reason for that comparison to the 2004 Pistons is the midseason pickup. The Pistons got Rasheed Wallace, and this Heat team got Iggy Crowder and Iggy, yeah. And I think maybe that's what the comparison is. And that's a major pickup, by the way. If it gets them, if it gets them to the finals, I guess I get the comparison. I don't know.
Like not really having like one person who dominates every night.
Yes, correct. Yeah. I can't even remember who the top scorer was on that Pistons team, to be honest. I want to say it was the dude from Utah with the goggles, but
Rip Hamilton or Johnson.
Yeah.
But no, that being said, that's probably my most trash take ever because it's probably the first time I've put myself against LeBron, and it's never a good idea to do that.
Yeah, that's rough, man. That's a tough. I mean, even at his age, he looks good out there, man. He's a little gassed, I think, at times, but I think he's still a threat, man. He's still dangerous.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is the champion's coming from the East.
Okay.
You heard it here first, folks. And I would also like to say my original take was that the Heat are going to win this series in 7, and everything is going on track.
Well, I mean, I would say Celtics in 7, and things are still going on track.
True.
So yeah, man. Oh my God. Do you understand? If we win Game 6 on Sunday, there would be, if we were not in the bubble, there's no way you guys would win Game 7. I'm guaranteeing. There's no way you'd come to Boston and take.
Oh yeah, like in Boston. Oh my God,
Absolutely
like that's been an interesting part of this whole playoffs.
For sure.
There's just no fans. Like that last game, Tyler Hero would have had like the greatest night of his life.
Oh yeah, with the crowd?
Miami.
Oh
yeah.
shit.
And someone had a really good tweet where they were just like, he would have been like treated like a god on South Beach, but instead he just went back to his room and ate a Nature Valley bar.
I saw that too.
But yeah, that really does suck about the bubble ball.
It proves one thing. It proves that home court advantage is important. It also proves that it's way more fun when we're not doing the whole home court advantage thing. It's nice to see like teams that like you wouldn't think would win or that normally wouldn't have a chance to win are actually winning, right? Like
it's hard to say that it's only the absence of the crowd because what you also have is no traveling, so like everybody just goes to their hotel and takes a nap and comes back. Like
traveling is major with these long flights. Sometimes like you have time to like think and like prepare and stuff. I mean, that's huge. The travel time is huge. Yeah. And it has effect on your body too.
Yeah. So no traveling, and no crowds. That's like, this is different, but I do think that overall it's made it more competitive, like because those are two things that are realistic factors of the NBA. But when it comes down to it, we're trying to watch these guys at their best play ball.
And that's what we're seeing now.
I think that's what we're seeing. Yeah. So I can't complain. I think that this is like its own thing, and I think it'll go down in history. So it's fucking cool that our teams are involved. It's the first ever Free Ballers Cup.
Yes.
And if the Heat won tonight and it was a 5-game series, that's not really, what I'm saying? That's not really what we're here for. I'm trying to see this shit go far.
Yes.
Trying to see this shit go far, and because I want the Heat to win in as many games as possible because I'll miss them when they're gone.
True. Yeah. I didn't see 5 games that's what you call the gentleman's sweep, right? I didn't see that happening.
Halftime tonight, it was looking pretty realistic.
When I first checked in, I'm like the Heat are up 10. I'm like, what the fuck are the Celtics doing? Like this is the goddamn elimination game. Like you should be up by 20 in the first quarter, like, and then lose the lead in the third quarter. That's how it works.
It was a weird start. It was their first bad start for the Boston.
Like, I mean, if that's what it takes to win, shit. I mean, whatever.
Fuck, damn, what was I gonna say? I totally forgot. I don't know.
I was gonna make a point that like maybe you'll remember what you're gonna think of, but if there's one I mean, I don't want to take away from what the Heat have done with this run that they're making, this sort of Cinderella run, but man, you wonder if this would have happened if everything was normal and not bubbly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do wonder.
Same thing with the Nuggets run on the other side with the 3-1 deficits that they're coming back from.
I do think that the Heat were and still are like well suited for the bubble and like the way it makes just the way it affects the team. Like they have all the things in place, like they have good leadership and like they have camaraderie and they generally get along and stuff. Like I think that's important. Like clearly the Clippers didn't get along, and like all the talent in the world doesn't matter, if you can't fucking just chill together for
they got exposed hardcore. And I think part of that is the bubble. I think I think if they had their crowd into it, I mean, I think it would have been a different story, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so too. And also just their regular environment, like amongst the players, like I think it's probably weird. I think who knows? I think Kawhi is like a weird dude, and like,
I mean, that's obvious. Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, I don't know if he's really hanging with all the guys on the team and stuff, but I think on the Clippers, at least, I think they respect him, so they don't give a fuck what he does. I think on the Clippers, it was Paul George. I think the guys like Harrell and Beverly and Lou Will and shit who had been there are like, well, bro, like, what did you do? You know what I mean? Like, you didn't really do nothing like that. I think they respect Kawhi, but they don't really respect Paul George.
Yeah.
And then this motherfucker wants to say that it wasn't championship or bust, like when the whole rest of the team was, you know, pretty much acknowledging that they had their sights on a championship.
Yeah.
And
bold, that's a bold prediction too. Like, you can't just be making, like, you guys were, look, they were eighth they were a scrappy, you know, scary eighth seed the year before. And they traded away a lot of picks and picked up Paul George and Kawhi. And obviously, I mean, everybody's like, damn, that's a big time move for the Clippers. They just added like to a team that was full of really good role players. They just added 2 really talented players too. And Kawhi just coming off a championship. Yeah, I get it. Like, you should have high expectations, but do not say championship, man. You're practically jinxing it. I mean, I hate to sound juvenile, but you're jinxing it. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
my shitty take.
Yeah, I think the Lakers haven't played a team as difficult as they're about to play since they played the Blazers, which they handled like pretty well, you know what I mean? But I think that Blazers team was fucking gassed and not like, they had to do so much just to get to that series.
Yeah.
And then dudes started getting, I don't even think Dame finished the series. Like, he got hurt.
Yeah.
But since then, you know, they played the Rockets, the little Rockets, you know, and then now they're playing the Nuggets, which I have a lot of respect for the Nuggets, and I like the Nuggets a lot. But
give them a year or two, honestly, and I think they're contenders again. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we never got to see the Lakers versus Clippers. That I really think that would have been like the real fucking, you know, showdown. And we didn't get to see that shit. And I think the Lakers are going to be worse for it. I think they're going to be worse for not having that matchup.
Oh, you're thinking they're not getting tested enough.
Nah. And I think that the finals is going to be a fucking awakening, not for LeBron and not for, maybe for AD, because he's never been there before. He's so talented, though. I don't think him and LeBron are going to have a problem, but I think the rest of that team is going to have to wake the fuck up when they get to the finals. And because I just think the Heat and the Celtics have been tested a lot more than this Lakers team has.
I'd agree. Yeah, that Raptors series and was big for the Celtics, and I think this is the test for the Heat right here.
For the Heat, yeah. And even though they beat the Bucks in 5 games, that shit wasn't easy. Like, the Bucks are very good.
No. Yeah.
And Giannis and all that shit. So, like, and I don't think the Lakers have played, I mean, I guess maybe James Harden and Dame Lillard, but like, I don't know. I just don't think the Lakers have impressed me with like what they've accomplished. And it seems a little too easy kind of strolling in here. I'm not ready to count out the Nuggets, but I just don't think it's as competitive as what's happening on the other side.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm going to watch them a little closer in this next game and just see if I can see. I mean, I honestly, I watch them and I'm like, they look scary. I mean, I think there's a lot. I mean, I think what they are is a lot of, if they're playing their absolute best, they're absolutely unbeatable, right? I basically say that for any team, but not necessarily. But the Lakers, like, if they're at their absolute best and nobody's injured and they're just like vibing and there's just, you know, everybody on the bench is up off their feet, like, they're very scary. I mean, just very scary. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's what I see. But I mean, that's why you and I have a podcast, because we bring different takes to the table.
I'm talking a lot of shit, but I don't care.
You are talking a lot of shit.
We're coming for that ass. I'm not afraid of the Lakers.
Yeah. Well, you better focus on Game 6, G.
I'm already looking at the Lakers. I'm like, why did Anthony Davis and Rondo exchange hairstyles? They both had opposite hairstyles like a week ago. Now they switched. What's going on? Like,
interesting.
Yeah, that's not going to win the championship.
Apparently, Rondo's dad is the barber of the bubble.
No, really?
His brother.
Okay.
You didn't hear this?
Is it like William Rondo or some shit?
It's William Rondo.
I didn't realize he's one of the barbers there.
Yeah, he's the barber. It's the greatest
What?
name I've ever heard. William Rondo.
Oh man, this is the shit I'm here for. Like, this is why we have a podcast. So
William Rondo sounds like some like villain from like a Western back in the 60s or some shit, man. Oh my God.
William Rondo. I've heard of the legend of William Rondo because I think he was like yelling at Westbrook or some shit.
Yeah.
But
He was waving by at him, I think.
I didn't know he was the barber though. That adds a whole other element to it.
I love that little bit of drama when I found it out. I'm like, yeah.
That, like, if I'm a detective and I'm trying to solve the mystery of why AD and Rondo switched hairstyles,
I think I just nailed it.
That's a clue that I need to really look into because they had opposite hairstyles and they like exchanged hairstyles.
Yeah, that's a major clue.
That's a major fucking clue, right? William Rondo's name's written all over this shit.
Bill Rondo. I found Bill Rondo's shell casings on the grassy knoll. I think that's a clue.
Billy Rondo. I'll say the Celtics are going to need Billy Rondo in games.
I don't think it's going to be as hard as you might think. Actually, man, I after watching this game, I don't want to get overconfident yet because you got to be a little what's the word, superstitious about this kind of stuff, right?
True.
So I didn't watch the first half, but I kept an eye on the second half, and I think that's the key to this actually. So just kind of ignore the first half, just give it an hour, be patient. Tune in for the second half. They'll score 41 points in the third quarter.
I feel you. I personally blame this loss on my mismanagement of when to have on or take off my jacket.
Interesting.
And I fucked it all up with I have a heat warm-up jacket.
Okay.
I totally fucked it up. Like Spo would be ashamed of how I managed the minutes of this jacket. So I want all Heat fans to know that I'm just putting the whole fucking jacket away for Game 6. I'm not going to wear it, and I'll see you in the finals, baby.
Heat fans rejoice. I wore that Celtic shirt that you gave me for Game 3. Okay.
Wow.
And I thought, and so I'm thinking I may pull that out for Game 6 too.
Fuck.
Yeah. So I think that's if there's going to be an undoing to the Heat's. If the Heat are going to collapse, basically, it's going to be because I wear that shirt, the shirt that you gave me for Game 6. So,
all right, I'm going to wear the shirt that you gave me in that game as well to offset that. You should have told me that. Oh, fuck.
Oh, and guess what? Laundry day's tomorrow. Oh, fuck.
Epic.
God damn, man.
Celtics fans, Heat fans, Nuggets fans, Lakers fans, make sure you do your laundry appropriately. Get everything you need for the game.
Or don't do your laundry.
Or don't do it. Yeah, do what you need to do. Do what you need to do to get us this fucking W.
You do you, boo. That's all I gotta say.
But at the end of the day, we all win here. It's a free ballers.
That's for sure.
Balling free as the air we breathe.
Just big old elephant balls.
A little stank too, just like it as well. At times. But yeah, that's what's going on in the world of basketball today, folks.
Mm-hmm.
The National Basketball Association. Chicago Bulls signed Billy Donovan as head coach.
Big time.
That's like probably one of the most reasonable things they've done in a long time. So that's a good sign.
Definitely reasonable.
Yeah.
That's a good word.
I feel like that's a good sign that they want to like try and stuff. And so I think their new GM, that's a solid first choice. One of his first big decisions. And I think that was pretty good.
What do you think of Billy Donovan so far? Like the success he had when Westbrook was there and now with Chris Paul. Is he, I mean, has he really made a name for himself?
I'm going to say that I'm going to need to see Billy Donovan have a winning team that doesn't involve Russell Westbrook.
Fair.
he did this season, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna need to see a little bit more of that to fully judge him, because
Same.
he got put in a weird situation off top, and I guess not for him, because he's experienced and like he won his 2 championships in UF and all of that.
Mhm.
But like to be a rookie coach and you have the Thunder, I'm pretty sure his first season had KD and
He
stuff.
did. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he did damn good that year. You know what I mean? They fucking lost. They gave up a 3-1 lead.
Yeah. Which is major. Yeah.
But you know, when at night when they were up 3-1 felt good as fuck though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He helped to do that. So I'm curious, because now, you know, that's a lot of pressure for a first time NBA coach,
Mhm.
even though he's Billy Donovan. But you know, Billy Donovan's coaching kids, man. So the Bulls, or he was. So the Bulls, I think he's perfect because they're young and up and coming. And
Okay.
he has experience with that. Not to mention, they're probably going to have a fire draft pick, you know. And they Kobe White is also young, and I think
Markkanen
with a brand new GM to like a nice fresh start, and they're going to trust him and stuff. And the Bulls, I think he's one step towards, you know, trying to repair the fucking mess that they've been.
I'm gonna put I'll put their ceiling as 8th in the East, actually. Yeah, after all the talk that you just did, this could end up being a shitty take. I'm willing to bet though that you think it's reasonable. I think during the season they may actually go a little higher as far as seeding, I guess.
Okay. Flow.
I think they'll fall to 8th at the very at their apex, I guess. Yeah. That's just after all the talk you just said. So I'm thinking of like Levine, Markkanen now in his second year.
Yeah, they have a lot of promise. A lot of promise. Billy Donovan is the guy, man. Like Jim Boylan was not. It was like pretty much on day one, this dude, it was clear he's not meshing well with these guys, and like they tried to fit a square peg into a round hole. You know, I mean, was it going to happen? Billy Donovan is much better equipped to handle these young guys, man. I think, and he's also a winning coach, so that's good. I mean, the fucking Florida Gators basketball court is named after him.
It is, yeah. So, I mean, we all know that the transition from college to the NBA can be hell on some coaches, right? Like it just doesn't always work.
It's true. But I think he's held his own. You know what I mean? Like,
I think so. Okay.
He's made the playoffs, you know, more than hasn't. You're like, I think, you know, he's a winning coach. He's had to deal with Westbrook, man, for so long. So I feel like to see him now with a locker room that doesn't have any like established ego guys like that, where he can actually put a stamp on things first to like establish a culture, as opposed to trying to fit into the one that was there, you know.
Yeah, he's kind of walking in there with kind of a big swinging dick, actually, now that you say that, as a matter of fact. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You know, he's going to be able to do some things there, I think.
Do you remember the video of they caught Zach LaVine's audio or something like that at the end of one of the Bulls games last year? And they were down or they were up. I couldn't even remember, but the coach kind of made an interesting decision that just wasn't really that good. And you could hear Zach LaVine like audibly just go, "Yeah, great idea, real fucking good idea." Like he had like an audible like complaint that everybody ended up hearing. And I think the Bulls are kind of putting a lot of chips on him, which is great. He's a great player. I like him. I think they're putting a lot of chips on him, and so that's what this move is.
Yeah,
so,
Kobe White is awesome. Markkanen is awesome, and then what's his name, Junior? I forget his name, but he's a big man that he had a sophomore slump, but he'll bounce back, man. Carter Junior.
Oh, well, Wendell Carter Jr.?
Yeah. Them dudes all have a bright future, but I know what you're talking about. I think it was, I think Boylan called a timeout when they had a fucking fast break.
Exactly. That's what it was.
They were about to dunk. Like Levine was about to like dunk.
Yeah.
And he fucking called timeout, which was like, wow, bro. Which I think he was going to beforehand, and it just broke out fucked up for him. Like, I don't think he thought they were about to do that, you know? And that guy he didn't work well. I mean, he put a fucking punch in and punch out like time clock. Like
I didn't know this.
Yeah, he installed a punch clock like in the locker room or whatever. Like when the guys were practicing and stuff, like trying to come at them with some like blue collar, like hard work. But
it's okay. It's a little corny, but I kind of like the novelty of it. I like when a coach tries something like that. Like, hey, look, this is the the philosophy is you got to put in your work. Like you're not just playing the 48 minutes on the court. You're also the time you spend off the court is equally as important. You're putting in work no matter what. I like the philosophy. I kind of get it a little bit. I think if I'm a player, I would kind of buy into it. I would probably, if it's me, like I would be the guy who's like trying to get there as early as possible and punch in, because I think what it really is he gets to see who's really working as hard as possible. And so he can see like when did you clock in, which is a little, it's also a little like it feels like a corporate situation, which is like, these guys aren't buying into that shit a little bit.
It's a little bit disrespectful too, because it's like, bam, I make millions of dollars to do this. Like, you probably trust that I'm going to be putting my work in.
It feels a little like Office Space, and it's just like,
exactly. He's like, I'm going to need those TPS reports and shit, and it's like, bro, we just lost by 40, my friend.
TPS report's going to be pretty big then, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah. Somebody's not going to get any overtime this week. I like the philosophy of like, work hard and shit, but you got to read the room, and like clearly the way this guy was trying to communicate to this team, it just was a disconnect. Like it just wasn't going to happen.
That's interesting. Yeah. I didn't know he did that. That's a good little anecdote there. Cut to the signing of Billy Donovan, and they found a video of Zach LaVine playing. Apparently, they just like to find video of Zach LaVine doing, of like when doesn't know he's being recorded. So they found video of him playing Call of Duty, and he just found out that Billy Donovan is his new coach. He's like, damn, I like him. Good coach. And so obviously, Bulls made a good move there. So I like it too.
Yeah, seems happy about the new GM is like making some, he's making changes, and they finally have gone away from John Paxson and Gar Forman or whatever, and now they got
John Paxson's out.
Yeah, like this new GM has more of the control. He's running the show.
Damn, I just saw him in The Last Dance.
Yeah, they fired his ass
as an old man. Oh, okay. I was not aware of this.
That was The Last Dance for him as well.
Damn, man. Well, I guess you gotta. Sometimes you just gotta take out the old guard and put in some new blood. All right, I did not hear that. Yeah,
I'm just joking, but they actually they just reassigned John Paxson.
Oh, okay.
They basically like he still works for the team and he still has a role, but they were just like, this ain't working, and they took away, they fucking fired what's his name, Gar Forman, and then John Paxson, they reassigned him. His position now is senior advisor or whatever of basketball operation. But they have a new general manager, Arturas Karnisovas. And this guy ain't playing, and he's the one who, he's the reason why they just got Billy Donovan. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it can't hurt. I mean, you got out the old coach, and you brought in a big name, anyways. So,
yeah, I think that's the type of coach that the Bulls deserve, not some of these clowns that they've had in the past. Like Hoiberg and fucking this guy now. Like they haven't had a good coach since Thibodeau.
I was gonna say Thibodeau. Yeah, that's their last really good coach. Yeah.
So this will be good for them. It shows that they're trying to win now again, and it'll probably be a process, but they're on the right track.
I like when the Bulls are a good team, even if it's not like the 90s Bulls. I like when they're like in the hunt for stuff. Chicago's like such a big market. So
I want to hear that song and shit. I want to hear the Alan Parsons project.
Do they still play that?
Man, I don't know, but I feel like if they get if they get good anytime, they always play it.
Okay.
If they're doing it, they gotta play it.
I feel like they got to let it go a little bit, maybe, especially since like this generation has no idea who the Alan Parsons Project is.
Did anyone though ever? I don't think anyone. It was the Michael Jordan song.
Yeah. I had a feeling. I assumed they were like from Chicago or something. The two guys for the Alan Parsons Project, and that's why they played that song.
I would like to look into it because I don't even think that's it. I think someone was just like, "This is fire," and I think someone just chose to do it. Like,
I think the person who picks the music for that for the Bulls back in the 90s was high as hell and like found that song and like just play the beginning part. The rest of the song is trash for an opening of an NBA game, but just that beginning part of that song is fire.
Interesting. So that Alan Parsons Project song that we all know and love. Yes, Eye in the Sky. It's the song that we all associate with Michael Jordan and the 90s Bulls and all those heroics. They released that in 1982.
Jeez. Before Michael Jordan was drafted.
Yeah. 2 years afterwards, a Chicago DJ named Tommy Edwards was at a movie theater when they played the song over the movie theater's speakers. I assume like before the movie, you know what I mean? In that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And he thought to himself like, oh shit, I know this song. Like, because he likes Alan Parsons Project. And then he just so happened to also be the PA announcer for the Bulls. And at the time, yeah. So he's a radio DJ and he has the job as PA announcer for the Bulls. He's sitting in a movie theater. The song comes on. He's like, oh, I know the song. And then the more he listened to it, and thinking about his job, he was like, oh shit, this could be a Bulls song. The next day he goes out and he buys the album on vinyl and he started to rehearse the starting lineup over the song.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And
okay.
So like at this point in time, there wasn't really epic introductions and stuff. So this guy had the job in Chicago as the PA guy for a few years already. And like 5 years prior to this, in 1977, it was only his second year. And that's when they first started to dim the lights during the lineup announcements, which was like oh shit.
That's epic.
Yeah, it's like a big deal. Like nobody had really done that before. And then that dude's a radio DJ. So he slowly started to like incorporate music into it when they would dim the lights. Early experiments included Michael Jackson's Thriller or the theme song to Miami Vice. But nothing really stuck until he finally tried the Alan Parsons Project song Sirius, which is off the album Eye in the Sky.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously once he tried that, he already felt strongly like it was going to work. And the whole team loved it. Michael loved it, and they used it ever since.
So that started in the early 80s that they started doing that?
Yeah, so it was 1982 when he had the idea, when the guy had the idea. I don't know how long it took him to like get them to try it, but yeah, 1982 is when forgot his name already. 1982 is when Tommy Edwards, the Bulls PA guy, heard the song and thought that it could be the song for the Bulls.
Damn, that was a great little like 5-minute Alex documentary there on.
I really went for it, man. Yeah, I really fucking went for it.
If you put a little like animation to that or something, that could be pretty awesome. I'd watch the hell out of that.
I really fucking went for it there.
I'll be honest. I thought it started when like right after they won championships. So I thought like they won their first one in 91. And then I thought they were like, well, now they got to like, now we have to like step up our opening announcement game. We have like the greatest player in the game and we have the Bulls' first ever championship. We got to like really make like an awesome opening thing. But they basically had 7 years or so of like that opening and then mediocre basketball. So yeah. Interesting. Okay. It was such an intimidating like opening too after a while. Like after they won and they kept using it. Like man, I was like, well, we're gonna lose this game. And whoever's playing them is gonna lose this game. So Damn, I'm gonna pay attention to these opening theme songs more often.
Yeah. Well, that was cool. I'll catch you after this next Eastern Conference Finals / Free Ballers Cup game
Sunday night.
It's shaping up to be a fucking epic one. Who gives a fuck what happens in the West? We already know that the real champion's coming from the East. So,
if you say so, man. I'm scared of them Lakers. So, but you can
knocking on all the wooden objects around me too.
You really are, yeah. Oh man, that's a smart move.
But I will catch y'all later. Love y'all.
Catch y'all. Bye.
Bye.